Welcome to Wrestling Talk in the Shop, where we will review wrestling memorabilia and talk all things professional wrestling straight from the wrestling ring.
Hello, this is Jonathan from Wrestling Talk in the Shop. Today we're going to go over this Wrestling Monthly with Bobo Brazil on it. This is going way back from July of 1972. Original price tag of 60 cents has Don Leo Jonathan on the cover as well. But before we do that, we're going to talk about a couple of things I've had in my collection for a while. This is a yellow card Hasbro of Razor Ramon. Let's see what year it was. It's not 93. This was original price tag was marked down from KB Toys from $6.99 to $3.99. This is a pretty valuable figure. I've had this for a while. I need to get a cover for it, but those things are expensive. Those are hard to get. But I actually thought about selling this when he passed away, but I thought it might have been in bad taste, so I decided against it. But yeah, I like it. I wish I could afford more of these men on card. I've only got a couple of them, but man, they're expensive nowadays. Yeah. On the back, you got the cross sale. You got Hulk Hogan, Kamala, Crush, Nails, Shawn Michaels, Owen Hart, Razor Ramon, which we have, Macho Man, Randy Savage, IRS, El Matador, Berserker, Papa Shango, Repo Man, Tonka, Ric Flair. Ric Flair was on his way out, so was Hogan at this time. But and there's a nice shot of the front. I've had this thing a while. It's not, I mean, it's not mint, but it's pretty good shape. Best I'll ever own. And I also have something. I got lucky and picked up a Chase 1 of 5,000 CM Punk Series 4 Unmatched collection. This is his attire from All Out of 9/5/2021, a controversial figure. I don't know if he's coming back. I've read some things where he's coming back or not coming back, but we'll have to see. There's the cross sell on the back. Every once in a while you get lucky when you go to these stores. It's not really worth a lot more than, I think they're selling for like 60 bucks. I'm not gonna sell it. I'm gonna keep it.
That's all they're selling for?
Like 60 bucks on eBay, I think. I'm not real sure. I'm not selling it anyway. I'm keeping it. But anyway, we'll go over the magazine now. I'll set this stuff to the side. Let my assistant Lindsay get around here with the camera. Get a nice shot of the color there. Bobo Brazil was really popular before Junkyard Dog. And also Danny Hodges, the Interns, Mr. Wrestling, Dirty Dusty Rose, Pretty Boy Henning, and Party and Heart. But we'll go. This advertisement is in every one of these.
Be taller.
It's in every similar advertisement in every one of these wrestling magazines.
Playing on people's insecurities.
Yeah, we'll kind of go through it there. There's
table of contents.
Always selling the next issue.
The Promoter's Corner.
Sam Mustick. Yeah. He had Wrestling at the Chase. Just kind of glance through it here.
Alright, wrestlers remember
Leroy McGirt, he was blind. There's a young Greg Gagne.
They've been doing this a long time, using famous people to promote weight loss supplements. Dyna Powder. Alright, just got a few more ads here. And then we have the article on Bobo Brazil by Dave Buzinski. If you happen to ask the question, who is the greatest African-American athlete in sports history, you would receive a variety of answers. Baseball would have to cite Willie Mays, Jackie Robinson, and Henry Aaron. Football would include O.J. Simpson, Gale Sayers, Bubba Smith. Boxing would give for Joe Francis, Muhammad Ali, Joe Louis, top honors. But in the Wrestling Hall of Fame, Bobo Brazil would take the category with flying colors. Ever since he lived in his hometown of East St. Louis, Illinois, Bobo was a sports nut. He was a scholar on the baseball field of his high school days at the House of David School, a star first baseman. He later turned down top offers made by major league teams to play pro baseball. Wrestling was later to become his life, though. Bobo saw his first wrestling match along with his cousin in Benton Harbor, Michigan. Later, he found out he was to wrestle on the next card when his cousin Ott told the promoter that Bobo was interested in the sport. Bobo wasn't too fond of the joke, but he did wrestle the next week to prove his ability. He wrestled Rex Sheely in February 1947 and made an overwhelming impression by winning the match. And here's some pictures. Let's see. In the hearts of every fan in attendance. Yet was Bobo to know he was headed for bigger and better fame in the rough sport. He took a quick liking to the sport and with every match became more knowledgeable of the holds, maneuvers, of wrestling. His size, he stands 6'6", proved a helpful factor in these early matches. He became a smash hit, reaching top ratings in his first year of wrestling. He faced all the top stars of the era: Gorgeous George, Killer Kowalski, Buddy Rogers, Fred Blassie, Bill Longson, and many of the other greats. His cocoa butt and flashy style set the crowd roaring every time his arm was raised in victory. Bobo has held numerous titles. Among them are international title, U.S. championship, and many tag team titles with various partners. He's also claimed a version of the world's title, but his biggest victory would have to be winning the United States Championship by defeating 7-year champion The Sheik in May of 1971. It was a Texas death match, both men chained at the ankle, and rules were that the man who could not answer the referee's 10 count would lose the match. Bobo was fired up for this match after losing a match just 2 weeks earlier. For 6 years, Bobo has been promising the fans a victory over the Syrian sensation, but has failed in 12 other attempts. But 13 was Brazil's lucky number. During the brutal battle, Brazil opened up a wide gash to the Sheik's forehead, making it nearly impossible for the Sheik to do or see or do anything. At the 10-minute, 10-second mark of the match, Brazil was declared the winner after a supposed fast count by the guest referee, Lord Layton. But it didn't matter to the fans as their champion was now on the throne. Now celebrating his 25th year in the sport, Bobo has enjoyed every single minute of it. Besides being the greatest African-American wrestler, he has accepted awards for being Wrestler of the Year on 3 different occasions. In the ring, Brazil dons a sporty sequins jacket of various colors, colored boots with the double letters B imprinted on the sides. Outside the ring, he dresses just as fancy with either leather or suede suits. Bo, as he's called by his fellow wrestlers, has gained each and every grappler's respect inside and outside of the ring. Never having an excessive amount of training, Bobo has learned a few things from some and has taught things to others. Nowadays, the sport is much faster and tougher. Bobo has grown with it and has progressed very quickly. Not only has he gained the respect of his fellow wrestlers, moreover, he has the backing of the fans. They have supported him in times of trouble, and he has repaid them 100-fold. Never do you see this man pass up a chance to sign an autograph for his fans, young or old. Also, he is well known for his works of charity, of visiting his champs, as he calls them, in local hospitals. Not a wrestling fan in the United States hasn't heard the name of Bobo Brazil, and most fans probably have seen him. He has traveled to nearly every state, along with visits to Japan, Australia, Canada, Asia, and countless other areas. As I mentioned before, he stands 6'6", supports a 299-pound frame of pure muscle. Driving nice cars and eating good food remain a few of his off-time hobbies. His work can take him from Detroit to Toronto to Cincinnati to Cleveland to California to New York to Georgia and back the same route week in and week out. He's 44 years of age and still averages 200,000 miles of travel each year. Bobo has no particular goal in wrestling. He has achieved nearly every honor there is, but he plans on keeping the United States title and all times to give the fans what they came to see. His sporty ring tactics and clean-cut style will see him get victory after victory and make the fans come back for more. It seems you can go on and on about this man. Greatest thrills would be too numerous to mention. Happy times, bad times, experiences would take almost a book. Maybe someday this will happen. It seems you have to give credit where credit is due, and my credit goes to Bobo Brazil's being the greatest African American in the history of the sport. And then there's another article, the listening post. We're not going to read that. Kind of look at that if you want to. Let's see. Bobby Hart and Lorenzo Pate, United States Tag Team Champs. They recently took on Bruce Swayze as their manager after previously working under Buck Robley in Texas. And let's see. Roger Rip Kirby defeated Danny Hodge in New Orleans to win the World's Junior title last year. Let's see if we can get a good picture of that. Ramon Torres won the title from Kirby when he subbed for Hodge, who was injured in an auto crash on his way to the match. Here's Dr. X. Becomes the first masked junior champion when he took the title from Torres. And now the world's junior heavyweight champion belt is back around the waist of Danny Hodge. Come over here. Got some other pictures. A night for Yvonne Roberts. This is Canada's greatest wrestling star of all time, honored at the Montreal Forum. Look like everybody that up in that area. I'm not real familiar with that area. Here's some more shots from that. Mr. Wrestling. Glory to God who made this man. Mr. Wrestling wearing his controversial knee brace in this photo outside the dressing room door. The masked star says he needs the brace to protect an injury, but Jack Briscoe thinks otherwise. Here's some collegiate champs. 42nd Annual National Collegiate Wrestling Champs. Carl Adams of Iowa State was this year's 158-pound champ. Iowa State's Ben Peterson won the 190-pound title for the second year in a row. Let's see. And then we've got a comic, The Patriot. Patriot's the son of a famous pro wrestler who was killed in a wrestling ring by a masked man known only as Dr. Devil. The Patriot appeared on the wrestling scene with one goal in mind: to destroy Dr. Devil. He caught Dr. Devil in a small South American country and could have killed him, but instead he showed him mercy and let his hated enemy go. The Patriot has dedicated his wrestling career to destroying all evil doer, I guess it was evil does in the sport? Okay. Professional wrestling. The Patriot was wrestling Waldo Von Erich in Buffalo, New York when the Dr. Devil came out of the audience and ripped off the Patriot's mask. But as Dr. Devil ripped away the mask, he also caught hold of the Patriot's shirt, pulled the shirt over the Patriot's head, preventing anyone from seeing the Patriot's face. Rip. As Patriots ran to the dressing room, keeping his face covered in his identity a secret. If I am to succeed in my ultimate goal, which is destroy all evil in wrestling, it is imperative that I keep my identity a secret, and I will let Waldo Von Erich go this time. Back in his dressing room, the Patriot puts on a spare mask from his case. Now my identity is safe, but I realize I was wrong to show mercy to that Dr. Devil, for he is an evil man who must be stopped. Oh, look, this is actually by Jerry Lawler. I didn't even catch that. Illustrated by Jerry Lawler. Anyway. Okay. The next night, the Patriot has a match in Seattle, Washington. In this corner, the Patriot, hurrah! And his opponent will be the new sensational wrestler, Clifford Arthur, who claims to be managed by multi-billionaire Howard Hughes. Again, the ringside chair for Mr. Hughes appears to be empty. The crowd all turns its attention to the empty manager's chair at the ringside. Clifford Arthur, who has a win streak of 30 matches, says Mr. Hughes is his manager, but won't show up to second him until he is signed to wrestle a wrestler worthy of being in his presence of Mr. Hughes. The bell sounds, and Arthur rushes across the ring. I'm going to finish off this masked man quickly. Ding! He looks like Jim Blake to me. But the Patriot is ready. He picks up Arthur for the Uncle Slam. Whoa, no, please. My Uncle Slam will finish him quickly. Clifford Arthur's head slams into the mat with such terrible force he is stunned temporarily. Wham. Arthur's shoulders are down and he's counted out. 1, 2, 3. A surprised Arthur looks around the ring in disbelief as the Patriot is declared the winner. The Patriot won on a fluke. He could have never beaten me if my manager was here, Arthur screams to the crowd over the microphone. Mr. Hughes wouldn't allow me to be taken by surprise. I want a rematch next month, and Mr. Hughes will fly in from South America to be at my side. You've got your rematch, Arthur, and I don't care if Mr. Hughes is here or not. Oh, but you will, Mr. Patriot, you will. The rematch is signed. Next month, the Patriot will again meet Clifford Arthur. Will Howard R. Hugh really show up at ringside to manage Clifford? Does the multi-billionaire really stand behind Arthur? Don't miss this next exciting adventure of the Patriot in the August Wrestling Monthly. Same Pat pages, same Matt magazine. Anyways, that was fun. And here's Don Leo Jonathan in his prime. Oh, let's see. Jonathan shows off he's the most agile for the big man as he delivers a drop kick to the body of Ivan Koloff. Don Morocco, the AWA Rookie of the Year, has Don Leo's partner for his tag team match held up in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Ivan Koloff, the Big K, ganged up on Jonathan in this tag event, but the Mormon Giant took everything but the two smaller men could dish out. Let's see. New tag team on the AWA scene. Let's see who they're talking about. Oh, Pretty Boy Larry Hennig and Dirty Dusty Rhodes are the newest combo to throw their hats on the scene. Let's see. For many years, Lawrence Henry Hennig, better known as Pretty Boy Larry Hennig, has been a potent force in the AWA circles who came into the sport with all the promise of being one of the scientific greats. In previous stories, you've read how Hennig followed in the footsteps of Vern Gagne at Robbinsdale, Minnesota High School, how Vern trained Larry as a professional only to have his protege turn on him. Since that time, Hennig's forte has been tag team wrestling. He first captured the AWA Tag Team Champion back in 1962 with Duke Hoffman as his partner. Starting in 1965, Larry teamed with Handsome Harley Race to hold the title for several years. More recently, Hennig and Luscious Lars Anderson, another ex-Gagne pupil turned bad, were considered top contenders for tag honors. That all changed the night when Hennig was wrestling Ramon Torres, the former NWA Heavyweight Championship. In a televised match from the AWA network, Hennig was in trouble and on the verge of defeat when Lars Anderson jumped into the ring to come to his aid. The result was a suspension for Lars by the AWA. Anderson was forced to go to California and wrestle on NWA cards for his balance of the suspension, and Hennig was left without a partner. But not for long, and what a partner he came up with. Dirty Dusty Rhodes has been one of the most successful grapplers in the NWA circuits in recent years. First as a partner of Dick Murdoch, he held many regional tag titles and then went on to his own to defeat Cowboy Bill Watts and win the coveted North American Heavyweight Championship. Watts, however, after months of trying, finally regained the North American title, and Dusty decided to go on to bigger things, namely to go after the AWA World's Heavyweight Championship, which currently held by Vern Gagne. For those of you who have not seen Dirty Dusty Rhodes, there is only one way to describe him. He's the most brutal, the most vicious, the most articulate grappler to hit the sport in many years. After an outstanding career in football, he has become a full-time professional grappler. Big Dusty, as he likes to be called, and is a no-holds-barred grappler in the tradition of Dick the Bruiser and the Crusher back in the early days before fans mellowed and began to like Bruiser and Crusher. But Big Dusty resents the comparison. Crusher and Bruiser are old men. Y'all got to remember that they may brag about what they do and have done, but I'm the one who can do it now and do it today better than anyone ever could. I'm where it's at, and you all better remember it. Big Dust and Lawrence Henry, Pretty Boy, Larry Hennig are going to take care of everyone so that we are alone so that we alone are left at the top. We are after one thing, baby, and that's the green power. We're going to get as much of that green power as possible in the shortest time. Remember, Crusher and Bruiser may be considered big beer drinkers by the standards of Yankee fans in so-called cities like Milwaukee, Detroit, and Chicago, but I'm from Texas, and being a Texan, I do things bigger and better than anyone else. Crusher and Bruiser would have been in retirement long ago in Texas, and now that I'm here, I'm going to make sure they both retire permanently. Naturally, such talk doesn't sit well with Crusher or Bruiser, and we can rest assured now that Henning has a new partner that will be more memorable battles between Henning and CB. Those tag matches, which certainly will be signed, will be the tag matches to end all tag matches, and it is impossible to predict at this time which team will emerge victorious. The fans of Chicago chant, "We want blood," continuously at their matches, and if promoter Bob Luce ever matches Henning and Rhodes against Crusher and Bruiser in the Windy City, you can look for all hell to break loose and plenty of blood to be spilled. These four grapplers never to be continued on page 59. All right, we got your TV wrestling guide. So you can find out where you live, what channel it was on, and what time. Pretty helpful. But I have a feeling you probably already knew if you're into wrestling. Oh no, that page has got a tear. Alrighty, let's see. Wrestling Monthly checks out Madison Square Garden. Victor Rivera has Juan Caruso crying for mercy at the meeting of the Big Garden Show. Veteran midget Sky Lolo grabs hold of the nose of Sonny Boy Hayes during a special midget tag team bout. And Professor Tanaka challenges Pedro Morales at the WWF title in the main events. Although Tanaka is just going to make for very exciting wrestling in the months ahead. They've picked the AWA, which at the present time has the toughest tag team wrestling found anywhere in the world, and they are determined to be the best tag team in the world. Nor have they forgotten about the singles wrestling. Henning says that he wants another crack at Vern Gagne, the AWA World's Heavyweight Champion, and Rhodes wants Gagne as well. He says he would like to face Dick the Bruiser, the Crusher, Bull Belinsky, Billy Robinson, and Dr. X in singles matches. Pretty Boy Larry Henning and Dirty Dusty Rhodes have formed a tag team. In the months ahead, whether it would be in single matches or in tag matches, these two have set their goals. Neither one will show mercy to any opponent as they battle their way towards the top. Both men are among the most brutal that the sport of professional wrestling has ever known, and they say that it will only be a matter of time until they hold that title, the title that is emblematic. Hold it. Title that is emblematic of being the top tag team in the wrestling world, the AWA World Tag Team Championship.
I don't know if they ever held it. Dusty Rhodes' star was on the rise anyway. He didn't need to be a tag team wrestler. He was just getting his feet wet.
Yep.
The little big man.
Or the big little man.
No, the big little man. Sorry. That's why you're reading articles and not me.
Alrighty.
Wall of Fame. The match ended in a draw as our.
You get your wallet badge.
The match ended in a draw as our own associate publisher Lou Eskin, who acted as referees and raised the hands of both girls at the end of the night. Well, that looked like a COVID crowd there.
Little small crowd. Wall of Fame. Jay Strongbow did an Indian war dance in the ring prior to the start of his bout. Strongbow is one of the most popular wrestlers at in the Northeast. Pampero Firpo and Rene Goulet. I don't know who either one of those. In trouble in the match that saw the Wild Man from Argentina and the Frenchman battle on even terms. All right.
Might as well be reading all of them.
Baron Michael, I don't know how to say that. Let's see. Luna, that's probably totally wrong. And Manuel Soto battled out in the special event from Baron the Malta, and who is co-holder of the WWF Tag Team title with King Curtis, with was victorious in this match against the popular Puerto Rican. They were just there. Let's see. Juan Caruso entered the ring wearing a traditional costume of South American cowboy, complete with his bola straps.
Jimmy Valiant and Sonny King traded the advantages many times in the match before the African American star finally came out on top of the match and delighted the New York fans. And one of the interns choked Lynn Rossi along the ropes as the referee attempts to break the hold. Note the blood-soaked mask of one of the interns as they gang up on the Bearcat Brown during the match. After the match, both interns were bleeding blood spurts out of the forehead of the interns with the mask half tore off. And there's your muscle lad.
Can't forget the muscle man.
Yeah, 335 days, you can look like him. And a comic strip on the back.
How I got the tip of my life. I'll show you that. I'll read it.
You read it, you might be at the tip of your life. Thank you for watching this video. If you made it this far to the end, special thanks to Lindsay for reading the articles. And if you like this kind of content, give us a subscribe.